Okay.
I don't know why I was running. Oh, I was wondering if the camera was turned
Taylor
on.
was like, did you start the camera? This workout is 5 rounds for time, 22 GHD sit-ups, 11 sandbag squats, 150 for guys, 100 for ladies. This is a 60 workout.
For this coming week.
Yes.
Really not much going on in this workout, which should scare you.
Yeah, which makes it suck a lot. And honestly, like GHDs, you know, make you really sore in your core and midline the next day. But while I'm doing them, GHDs are all legs for me, always. So I knew this workout was going to get really like quad heavy.
For me, it depends on the workout for sure. Most of the time it's legs, but there are workouts where I'm like, holy shit, my midline has exploded.
Yeah, I was wondering, I thought maybe this one would get midline just because of the odd object and the GHD, but I didn't really feel it like that. This set of squats was actually the hardest one because I racked the bag a little bit too far back. And I knew I could get through 11 without having to like readjust it, but the last 2, I was really like squeezing with my arm to keep it on my back.
I could see that.
But yeah, the GHDs got really, really hard in this.
Setup on the GHD?
Setup?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Thoughts?
What do you mean thoughts?
Was that a Carl way to ask a question?
Yeah, what are you asking me?
You set up with your hips to the back edge of the pad, which is...
Oh, the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I didn't know you were asking, because that's the only way.
Well, it's not the only way, but it is the correct way. You'll see a lot of athletes that set up with their hips closer to the foot pads and their knees super bent. That just kind of bastardizes one. It just doesn't give you any sort of transfer of skill to anything else. So really the main thing we're looking for in functional movements in CrossFit is quarter extremity movement, one, but also transfer of skill to other things. When you bastardize the movement by scooting your hips to the front edge of the pad and your knees are super bent, you aren't performing a quarter extremity movement pattern. And then also, what transfer of skill do you have now? The good thing about the GHD is it's working on stabilizing the spine through a full range of motion. That's what your abs are doing. It's working on stabilizing the spine, keeping it relatively neutral through a full range of motion. And you're using your quads and hip flexors to initiate the concentric portion of the rep. So you're teaching really aggressive, active contraction of the quads and hip flexors, and your spine stabilizing, or your abs and back muscles stabilizing your spine through that extreme range of motion. So you'll notice Bryson never goes into excessive hyperextension of the spine or excessive flexion of the spine. That's why your abs get sore when you're doing GHDs. It's stabilizing that range. You'll notice at the bottom, his knees are bent, boom, he squeezes the quads and that initiates the sit-up, and that's kind of that 1-2 punch timing that we get in a lot of quarter extremity movement patterns. So if you want to get good abs, if you want to learn how to be a good athlete, if you want to have transfer of skill from your GHD sit-ups, do them this way. If you want to move like shit, keep doing whatever you want.
Yeah, I think it's important to standardize it that way too, because a lot of the times I don't think it's easier one way. I mean, there is obviously, like everything Taylor just said, there is a right way. But in this workout specifically, the wrong way probably would have been easier because your quads don't blow up at all.
Yep.
And
just changes the stimulus of the workout.
Yeah.
Which is not the point of when you change a strategy, it shouldn't be to change the stimulus of a workout.
Right.
Or you shouldn't be able to change technique to completely change the stimulus of the workout. Like you're hitting unless it's a test, and your goal of the test is to absolutely destroy it and get the best time possible. If you're training, you should be hitting your pieces for the intended stimulus. And the stimulus of this workout is definitely midline fatigue, but a lot of leg and quad and hip flexor fatigue.
Yeah, it's definitely like a redundant workout. And every time I was going to the bag, I was a little bit hesitant to pick it up because of how much my legs were blowing up on the GHDs. But if I redid this workout, I would probably just pick the bag up a little bit quicker every time, because 11 was never a problem.
Right.
But the GHDs were getting so hard that I was like, oh, okay, this set of sandbag sandbag squats is what's going to hit me.
Right.
And then it didn't. And then the next round, the GHDs get even harder. And you're like, okay, it's definitely coming. And it just never did on the sandbag squats. But the GHDs got brutal.
Yeah. This workout took you, what, like 7.5 minutes?
Maybe something like that. I don't remember my time.
7 something. I want to say 7:34. Could be wrong. 7:33, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't see the clock. I think you just saw it.
Scaling this workout, I think first place to do that would be reducing the GHD sit-up volume slightly. Maybe it's like 15 reps or 16 reps, something that you know you can do unbroken for all 5 rounds. If you need to scale beyond that, reducing the sandbag load slightly would be a good option. If you need to scale beyond that, go to half range of motion on the GHD sit-up, so you're just laying down to parallel. And if you need to continue scaling beyond that, I would consider not doing a GHD sit-up, but doing maybe a dumbbell weighted sit-up and a sandbag squat.
Yeah, half range would still be really good.
They're hard.
Like, and you're still using your quads in the way that we're talking about, like snapping the legs straight at the bottom.
Yep.
I think I have one more round.
Yeah, last round coming up here.
These last 22 were rough. I mean, I haven't done GHDs that hard in a while. I think at one point I start pushing away at the top.
Yeah, I told you to start pushing away, or maybe this is round 4.
Yeah.
No, that's your push.
There you go. Yeah. Doesn't really do anything, but it just makes you in your head. You're like, okay, I'm going faster now.
You probably feel like you're pushing away so much and in the moment, and you're not at all.
Yeah. I was like, wow, I'm really throwing my torso back.
Oh, you can see Andy on that f***ing ladder in the background.
Yeah.
God. Every other month at the gym. Look at that thing shaking. It's a f***ing OSHA hazard if I've ever seen one.
Also, going into this, I was planning on alternating shoulders, and then every time I walked up to the bag, I was like, not on this round. And I just ended up doing them all on my right shoulder.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that big of a deal, but...
You didn't do any on the other shoulder, but no, I don't think it's a big deal.
Great depth there.
Wow.
That was tough. That smoked me for the rest of the morning.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything worth doing after that.
Good to have a workout like that every once in a while. So.
Do we know what date this is on?
Monday for 60, and that will be the 27th is today. Tomorrow's the 28th. So Saturday's March 1st, Sunday's March 2nd, March 3rd. March 3rd, 60 track. Let us know how it goes.